For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. Mind truth is clear, firm through rain and storm. Only its shadow. Truth stands above all. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody's out of work, scared of losing their job. The banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the gun. Punks are running wild in this. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do. There's no do it. You know, the air is unfit to breathe. Our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV, my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not good at it. I will get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Someone wants to know whether Tyson committed suicide. Also coming up on the broadcast this afternoon, well, flags are being destroyed in a part of the island. That's political paraphernalia. And still to come on this afternoon's program, just to ensure that people are enticed to cast their ballot on election day, should election day be a holiday so that people can be free from work and other encumbrances, and therefore they would have the spare time to go out and vote. Hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. NewsSpin is on Power 97.9 FM. It is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and during the course of the program, Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room, and I'll be taking your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. This was long overdue. An address to the nation on the island's serious crime problem. And I don't think anyone can doubt this. You can make all the excuse that you want, but you have to face the reality. This is not science fiction. This is what we are living on a constant basis. Not too sure whether some of our friends, relatives, our fellow St. Lucians will be killed. And if they're not part of a gang, they can be collateral damage. They can be shot by mistaken identity or caught in a crossfire. And we ought not have allowed our nation to reach that state. But that's what we are experiencing this time. We run away from it. We cannot make excuses. And as much as we understand that all of us, we have a role to play in fighting crime in our country, you must understand and you must realize that there are some individuals whose responsibility it is to face that issue head on. Because that is the nature of life. Not everyone has the same responsibility. Not everyone is charged with the same task. But if every one of us take our roles, respective roles, seriously, then as far as crime is concerned, we can bring it under control. We know certain hotspots. And it's not the responsibility of an ordinary individual over in Miku or in V4 or in Anstore or Canaries to determine that. We will find the resources so that we can set up CCTV cameras in certain areas. That's not Joe Blow's responsibility. That's your responsibility as the Prime Minister, as the Minister with responsibility for finance, and as the National Security Minister. You also have a leading role to play as well as the Crime Prevention Minister and as the Police Commissioner. And the ordinary citizen can also lend a hand as well. And so I cannot understand, and maybe it's for political reasons, it's not the wisest thing to do in the estimation of the government of St. Lucia in particular, the Prime Minister, political leader of the SLP, to have a national address to the nation focusing solely on crime and the way forward, and giving the St. Lucian public the assurance that everything either is being done or will be done to bring this scourge under some kind of control. Take, for example, COVID-19. This was a scary experience for many of us in St. Lucia. And I don't know if you can recall when the CMO announced that we had our first case of COVID-19 in St. Lucia. People were running scared. Our streets were virtually empty. People were in panic mode. But you know what? The citizenry, they were given the assurance that everything will be done to manage the numbers. And so, quite often, you heard from the medical officer. She had on various programs, public service announcements. You had the command center. You heard very often from the Prime Minister of this country. You heard as well from the head of the command center, then Tourism Minister Dominic Fede. So one, there was the urgency. You were not being misled into believing that this was not a serious problem. Periodically, you're provided with the stats, the number of cases, people, etc. as you went along, and eventually we managed to understand that we have to live with COVID. We don't have to with the crime at this time. But what is warranted, required, is for the Prime Minister of this country to, as often as possible, use the tools at his disposal. The various talk shows, addresses. Can you imagine that the Prime Minister has not had a single address to the nation focusing on this malady that is taking hold on the entire nation, that is affecting the entire nation? Not one addressed to the nation by the Prime Minister. So whether you like it or not, you have to commend the leader of the opposition for doing what the Prime Minister should have done a long time ago. A nation on crime. So let's hear the leader of the opposition. He addressed the nation this evening on radio, television, social media on the nation's worsening crime problem.
I speak to the mother in Marcia who locks her doors before sunset. I speak to the father in Vieux Fort who walks with his daughter to school because the streets are safe. I speak to the grandmother in Groselet. Every night, son will come home safe. Every St. Lucian watched our beloved country descend to a state of lawlessness. Let me be clear about where we stand today. St. Lucia's experienced the crime crisis in our nation's history. In 2024, we recorded 77 murders. The deadliest year we've ever seen. Neighbors, our children, our future, cut down in their current administration. Firearm-related murders have surged from 5 out of every 10 murders to just under 8 out of 10 murders. That our streets have been filled with illegal weapons, while our police force has been starved of resources. The police budget was actually cut. Crime soared to record levels. In 2024, our beloved St. Lucia had the 6th highest homicide rate in the Caribbean at 42.8 per 100,000 people. With its homicide rate only about 7% higher than St. Lucia's, Trinidad and Tobago has declared a state of emergency. Our leaders remain silent. Our own. Beyond the numbers, crime places an enormous burden on our mental health and our already strained healthcare system, with gunshot victims and assault cases overwhelming our emergency rooms and diverting critical medical resources from other patients who care. Every shooting, every stabbing, every crime sends victims to our hospitals, consuming limited medical supplies, operating room, and the expertise of our doctors and nurses who should be delivering babies and caring for our elderly. Crime doesn't just destroy the lives of its direct victims, it puts every St. Lucian's health and well-being at risk. This administration has not only been silent, but also disorganized and soft on crime, that they forgot to even appoint a Minister of National Security for months after taking office. They disbanded the K-9 unit that was crucial for drug detection and crime prevention. Then there is Tyson, a K-9 officer donated to this country, was mysteriously poisoned. They failed to maintain our police scanners, leaving our officers operating blind in the street, where we built a network of 100 CCTV cameras across the island, allowed this critical infrastructure to fall into disrepair. And our crisis goes deeper than the crime rate. At the very heart of our justice system, we've witnessed not just a surge in crime, but the collapse of the justice system, with the various evidence in criminal cases. I put it to you, when vanishes from the police custody, when the very foundation of our justice system crumbles, we're not just failing the victims, we're betraying every law-abiding citizen who depends on that system for protection. This is why we will establish a CSI unit that will handle handle evidence collection and preservation, ensuring that the chain of custody is never compromised. Even more disturbing are the multiple sexual assault allegations against a senior police officer. Allegations that have been met with deafening silence from those who should be ensuring accountability. When those sworn to protect become those we fear, when those who should uphold justice become those who pervert it, our society is in grave danger. Most shocking of all, they brought Richard Frederick, whom they themselves identified as a drug lord, into cabinet and have allowed him to compromise the independence of our. This is far before governance. It is a betrayal of the public trust and sends a clear message that government has become a facilitator of crime rather than its enemy. When government is seen as a facilitator of crime, when those with criminal backgrounds are rewarded with high office, we've lost the moral authority to ask our young people to choose the path of law and order. What may be most troubling of all is the silence. The silence from the highest levels of government when our people are out for safety. The silence when evidence disappears. The silence when serious allegations surface against those in positions of authority. The silence when asked about their plan to fight crime. Because this silence is complicity. It's an abdication of the sacred responsibility that comes with. This administration has been soft on crime with no accountability and only excuses. My fellow St. Lucians, it was not always this way. In 2019, the United Workers' Party administration increased the police budget from 88 million to 102 million. We installed over 1,200 new CCTV cameras across the island, creating a network of eyes that help deter crime and solve cases. We maintained a fully operational K-9 unit. We equipped our police with working scanners. We established protocols to protect evidence and maintain the integrity of our justice system. We understood then, as we understand now, that fighting crime requires more than just good intentions. It requires resources, technology, strategy, and most importantly, the political will to make the hard decisions and to never be seen as facilitating crime. 2 years ago, in December of 2022, I wrote an open letter to the Prime Minister. In that letter, I set aside partisan politics, specific, concrete solutions to address our growing crisis. I proposed the establishment of a crime command center, modeled after the successful COVID command center. I recommend fast-tracking the CCC, implementing mandatory vessel monitoring systems, instituting rewards programs for information on illegal weapons, and addressing court backlogs. Most importantly, I offered the full support of the United Workers' Party to work together across party lines to protect our people, because crime should never be political. It's all of us, regardless of political affiliation, status, live. That letter, those recommendations were, and the 2 years since, our situation has only gotten worse. I want to share with you not just what is wrong, but what we can make right. Share with you how we can make pregnant mothers safer on our streets. how we young boys graduate and find pride in classrooms, trades, businesses, not get the street corners, where justice is not a privilege for the well-connected, but are every St. Lucian. This is an achievable reality. We have the courage to pursue it. United Workers' Party has a concrete plan to restore safety and trust in our justice system. And beyond that, a bold vision to make St. Lucia the safest, most prosperous in the Caribbean. First, we will provide modern resources to law enforcement and ensure our police have the equipment, training, and support they need. We will reestablish the K9 unit, provide working scanners to all officers, and restore our network of 1,200 CCTV cameras with modern technology. Second, will implement mandatory vessel monitoring systems, our operations, and cut off the pipeline of illegal weapons flowing into our communities. We'll make polygraph testing mandatory for customs and police officers to root out corruption. Third, we reform the justice system. We'll fast-track court cases, implement bench trial to and establish a dedicated CSI unit to handle evidence collection and preservation, ensuring that when evidence is collected, it is properly secured and can never disappear. We will have a zero tolerance for the disappearance of evidence or any compromise of our justice system. Fourth, we will demand accountability. No one, regardless of their position or connections, will be above the law. Allegations of conduct will be thoroughly investigated, and those found guilty will face the full consequences. Unlike this administration, known criminal elements into cabinet, we will ensure that government service is preserved for those of impeccable character. Fifth, we will engage our communities. We will create a civilian oversight body for crime fighting, similar to NEMAC during the COVID, giving our citizens a voice in keeping their communities safe. We will implement reward programs to encourage citizens to report illegal weapons and criminal activity. If the current administration will not act, if they will not break their silence, if they will not provide the leadership our country desperately needs, then it falls to us, all of us, to demand better. My fellow St. Lucians, we can go down this path of rising crime, disappearing evidence, and a government silence where leaders spend more time attacking the opposition than protecting our people. Where they forget to appoint security ministers, or we can choose a different path, a path of accountability, transparency, and genuine commitment to the safety of every St. Lucian. I want to make you a personal promise tonight. If you give us the opportunity to serve you again, we will treat the safety of every St. Lucian as our highest priority. We will not be silent when evidence disappears. We will not ignore allegations of misconduct. We will never allow elements into government. Government is seen as the enemy of crime, not its leader. We will work with every day to earn back your trust, restore the safety to your communities, and to build a St. Lucia where every child can walk to school safely, every mother can sleep peacefully, and every family can build without fear. United Workers' Party is ready to lead. We have the team, the vision, and important liberty to guide St. Lucia through crisis and into a secure future. We are not Christ, so we can be tough on crime. We can accept the unacceptable. Rising crime, government soft approaches with no accountability, and only excuses, and a justice system. Or we can choose to fight for something better. I believe in the strength of St. Lucian people. I believe our capacity to overcome any challenge when we work together. I believe that our best days are not behind us, but are ahead of us. But we must act. We must demand accountability. Insist on transparency. Must vote for leaders who will put your safety first, who will speak truth when it is uncomfortable, and who will never, ever be silent when our people are in.
About 16 minutes of his 18-minute address to the nation last evening. Heard there from the leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mr. Alan Chasney. That address focused exclusively on crime. Here's the promise I'm making now to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Security Minister Philip J. Pierre. If you were to anytime soon address the St. Lucian public on the nation's crime problem, I will play your address in entirety on NewsSpin. I give you a short answer. However, in the moment, focus love to the people and do so in real time. Yes, they want to hear from you. What are your plans? How are you going to kind of relief to them? Likewise, if there's a problem in the education sector, the education system, we want to hear from the education minister. And a problem relating to sports from the sports minister. And if the problem is you want in such circumstances to hear from the head of the government, the Prime Minister of this country. Too often, when it is warranted, when it is needed, we do not hear from the Prime Minister. A good leader must always communicate with his people in the minister and, of course, people of St. Lucia. You're a managing director, there's a problem, there's a crisis in the business establishment. You must communicate with your employees. Affecting the customers, you must also communicate with your customers. That is sorely lacking when it comes to the nation's Prime Minister. There's an issue that has surfaced, and that is destruction being done to campaign paraphernalia. And so we have a clip of Mr. Bradley Fulgence, who is the United Workers' Party candidate for Dennery, and he's claiming that campaign paraphernalia are being including flags. Let's hear from him.
Morning to my fellow St. Lucians, rest of the world. On 2 consecutive occasions, the supporters of Lucia flags. The first instance occurred on Tuesday night. Our bridges in Dennery, 2 in Grand Riviere and 1 in De La Haye. And last night, our flags were destroyed. Our flags, which were erected on posts, electric posts, were destroyed by supporters of the Labour Party from Tamazo to reach for. At a recent public meeting, my opponent, the MP for Denry North, suggested that his supporters contact the supporters of the United Workers' Party in Denry North. I have a question. Is this what's taking place right now? I felt very disturbed when I got this morning and yesterday morning. I call on my opponent, the MP for Denry North, to denounce this type of behavior. That's not who we are as a people. And I call on my supporters, despite of the provocation, not to retaliate. Let's be the peaceful people that we are, the family of the United Workers' Party.
You just heard and saw the United Workers' Party candidate for Denry North, Mr. Fulgence, and he's the candidate for Denry North once again. So that constituency has also issued a press release. Let me try to go through that release right now. And it reads, and it's a statement from the Denry North United Workers' Party branch. It says there, the United Workers' Party UWP branch strongly condemns recent acts of vandalism, our political paraphernalia, in particular, the removal and destruction of our party flags erected on utility poles within the constituency on the evening of August 14th, 2025. These deliberate actions, reportedly carried out by supporters of the SLP, are not only disrespectful to our movement but also to the democratic process, which allows all political organizations the right to freely display their symbols and campaign materials. Such behavior fosters unnecessary division, undermines the spirit of healthy political competition, and also distracts from the real issues facing our community. We remind all supporters, regardless of political affiliation, that the democratic process thrives on respect, tolerance, and fair play. The removal or destruction of any party's paraphernalia is an attack on free expression and the principles upon which our democracy stands. The Denry North UWP branch calls on all political parties, the leadership and supporters to denounce these acts and to commit to a campaign season grounded in mutual respect and constructive engagement. We will continue to advocate for the people of Dennery North with integrity and will not be deterred by acts of intimidation or sabotage. We urge our supporters to remain calm, law-abiding, and focused on the mission ahead to right the wrong and deliver a better future for our constituency. And this is signed by one Cutley Estiver. This has got to be denounced, and the respective political parties, independent candidates, must state clearly that this will not be tolerated. And they need to advise their supporters not to engage in that kind of act of destroying campaign paraphernalia belonging to other political candidates. This ought to be denounced. This ought not to be tolerated. And somehow we need the various interest groups in St. Lucia to speak loudly against this. So first you destroy paraphernalia. Before you know it, you'll be attacking the supporters of your opponents. We certainly need to ensure that this does not escalate to the point where political supporters of political parties engage in acts of violence upon each other. We certainly can do without that. And in some other sense, that if you're going to set out to destroy the campaign paraphernalia of your opponent, is because you see your opponent as a threat. What you're saying there, I really am afraid of you. I'm afraid of your campaign, whether it's SLP or UWP. So I will destroy the campaign paraphernalia belonging to the SLP, the billboards or what have you. Or I will do it to the United Workers' Party because I see them as a threat. So across the board, please, let us not descend to that kind of behavior. It could only result in things escalating to the point where our election process will be compromised. People are going to attack each other. Therefore, people are going to be injured. People are going to be killed. I know there is a lot at stake. That would include contracts. That includes serving on various boards, statutory corporations. That would include getting other opportunities. That would include you feeling good that you're part of a winning team. That would include you getting ambassadorial positions. But don't act in such a manner that would portray you as being a desperate individual. I know it's all about friends, family, and financiers. But St. Lucia ought to come first. And you ordinary individuals in this country who are supporters of the respective political parties, don't allow yourself to be used. Because what you get in the end is the crumbs. Smidgens of this and that. A little cacahuat, a little piece of this and that. The big contracts go to the big players, and they are not the ones who will be destroying the campaign paraphernalia of political parties. Those people are going to be ambassadors to the U.S., ambassador to the UN and the OAS, etc. They don't descend to such levels. Okay, they're just merely using you, and in the process, just give you a few bucks. That's all there is to it. We ought to put not SLP and UWP first. Let us put St. Lucia first. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026, and Amanda is standing by to go through some of your comments in the chat room and, of course, to provide us with some updates. In the meantime, let me see if I could go through some of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says that good day, St. Lucians, be smart, do not allow engagement of damaging paraphernalia to distract you from the real issue. The flags and posters will not change your mind on who you will vote. You don't need a flag on a pole to tell you who you should vote for. Just focus on the ballot box. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon,
Hello.
caller.
Yes. I saw a Facebook post at Mondi Lewis that came from Mondi Lewis's page saying 2024 1,000 plus passport issued by the Immigration Department. What I want to ask Mondi, because I can't get to her, so I'm using NewsSpin. According to the Minister of Tourism, the Galaxy Real Estate project was fully sold out. And based on what we saw, the contract is saying 5,000 files were given to that project. So let's just say 5,000 files by two persons each, that's 10,000 passports. According to the minister, it's fully sold out. And then there probably would have been some for BMAX, and then it would have been a few, maybe I don't know how many for the infrastructure. So that's looking at maybe 10,000 plus passports. She's saying the information that she put out is saying 1,000 plus passports were issued in 2024. What I want to ask her, that's about a year and a half ago, Hillier said that it was fully sold out, the real estate project. Are they not giving the people the passports? Because if he said it's fully sold out, the money would have been collected. Are they inefficient in supplying the people with the passports, or are they just hiding the figures according to their stats? But that's my question to her. I have one more question. That's for Richard Fredericks. Every time Richard Fredericks gets an opportunity, he keeps saying, the last administration, in particular Mr. Chasney, gave DSH our passports. And DSH used the passport money to finance certain things. He keeps saying that. My advice to him, by now that is public information, how many passports would have been sold to DSH. I advise Richard Fredericks to go to the immigration department or go and check the CIP reports and see how many passports were sold to DSH, which from what I understand is 0 passports, and show us the information. Stop saying that. He keeps saying just for effectiveness. So many passports were given to TL King. Passports were given to TL King. Show us the proof, because obviously there is none. You are just doing it for political clout. Thank you, King. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for calling, ma'am. 4522979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2027. Another call. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
Blessings and greetings.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
How are you, brother?
I am okay.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Wonderful. Good afternoon, brethren. My name is Sister I, also known as Sister Tony, and I'm giving thanks for the opportunity. Brother Timothy Poleon, I would like to also say big up to Mr. Rick Wayne, because over the years I've heard his contributions on your show, and I truly see that sometimes he's making a lot of sense. He may remember me many years ago. I had a conflict in Canaries with a police officer, and he allowed me to come on his television show. I want to say that I did win. And Timothy, I wanted to talk today about former President Joe Biden. He did something wonderful for the Caribbean region, and the Emancipation Month in St. Lucia, we need to know about this. Marcus Mosiah Garvey was arrested and charged and convicted of charges. However, in January of 2025, Joe Biden, I was about to say Bill Clinton, Joe Biden operated. And so many people do not know that this man was deported from the United States as St. Lucia. But Joe Biden stood up and said, this black man, this Pan-Africanist did nothing wrong, and there were trumped up charges against him by the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover. So I am very proud to say that on Sunday I am having a little lecture, and I hope you don't mind me saying this on your program, brethren, because you are the most monitored program. On Sunday at Otabor and Slurry, I will be talking about the exoneration of Marcus Mosiah Garvey by the United States government, the very government that did him and deported him. So that's going to be right at Otabor between 1 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right past the state. It is his birthday, actually, on Sunday. And hopefully people who are in the Otabor area, Ancillary area, Oshallow, Canaries, and Slavedy, anybody who would like to come out and hear some reasoning about Marcus Mosiah Garvey. His name was finally vindicated. And another thing too, Brother Tim, this man talked about our cooperation, and it has manifested, even though it's 120 years later, it manifested. We have CARICOM, we have the Bank of St. Lucia, we have Ones and Ones with their own businesses. We fulfilled what his motivating words were. Do for ourselves. We as black people in the diaspora and abroad. Look, the Nigerian prime minister or president came to St. Lucia. That could have never happened before. We have to embrace our culture. And Marcus Mosiah Garvey will be represented on Sunday, the 17th, right there at Otabor, right next to the station. Please come through. My name is Sister I. And brother, thank you very much for this opportunity once again. big to Mr. Rick Wayne for the opportunity he gave me many years ago, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
So continued blessings. Yes.
Thank you so much, Sister Anai, for your contribution. Still come, somebody wants to find out the weather. Officer 642, Tyson committed suicide. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Attention, Nissan drivers, Speed and Company Auto are doing it again. Start your engines and come on down to their office at Vidbouteille on the Castries Highway. On August 15th and 16th, that's today and tomorrow, Speed and Company Auto is slashing prices on automotive parts. Discounts up to 90% on Maximas, Navaras, also Sentras, March, Almera's front and rear windscreens, and much more. Everything must go. For more information, call 458-6950, 458-6950. The broadcast continues in just a moment.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of a secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's visible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control, all so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's private cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we take compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's private cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbouteille at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Hey, Lucelec. Sherry here. I've been hearing all about my account and its features. Can you really do all that?
Absolutely, Sherry. I'm Taisha, by the way. My account is your all-in-one power hub. You can check your bill. It's even emailed to you every month. Need a copy? You can download a PDF version anytime. Breathe. Use your card or opt for online bank payments. Thank you. Whatever suits you best. Keeping tabs on your energy use, you got it. Track your consumption, download payment records, and see how you stack up against previous months and other buy.
Thanks for breaking it down A1, Taisha.
You got it, Sherry. My account puts the power in your hands. Remember, it's your energy, your way.
In the blink of an eye, disaster can strike. Are you ready? When the winds rage and the rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you off guard. At MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt today and make sure your family is safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or launcher. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, warranted. Call 451-65 or WhatsApp 79950. Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
That tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivy Style Shop, brand new quality tire, affordable prices with installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivy's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivy's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Boutte. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivy's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your firm, we've got the start your first business or commercial loans. Your first car, drive it home today. Head into college, let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. At 455-1000 or nearest First National Bank branch today, so we can help put you first. First Bank, here for you.
The Republic Bank CPL is here, and the biggest party in sport just got here. This August, all roads lead to Darren Sammy Cricket Ground as the St. Lucia Kings light up the island with 5 explosive home games from 23rd to every 6, every wicket, every roar crowd is a shot of pure Caribbean. So grab now at CPL.com, box office, to turn up biggest part sport.
Optimum Events brings the heat with Radiance. Radiance! The old breakfast fed at real estate in Super. Radiance! With the Extreme Band, Hollywood HB1 Jugglers, Dorsey High, Sir Lancelot, and Imran Nerdy. Gourmet breakfast, sunrise sips. This is not your average Sunday. Early bird drops July 12, just $300. $350. Tickets only. Yours at the Cell Island 1, Soufriere, or online at ForCircleStickers.com. Non-stop vibes from 6 till 2 p.m. Radiance, August 24th at Montcuba. Sponsored by Bounty Rum and JP Chennai.
St. Lucia, the countdown is on. Sunday, August 17th, 5 p.m. All roads lead you to William Peter Boulevard for a night that will make history. The first ever. All 17 UWP candidates the stage. Shoulder to shoulder. One banner. Street. It's the team to take back our St. Lucia. Come here, powerful speakers, our new faces, and leader. Bring your voice. August 17th, 5 p.m. William Peter Bull. Come join United Workers Party. Together, we will right this wrong.
Look, now Tyson died. Did Tyson commit suicide? I want to know. Have a good.
Arthur Charles, well known. What whistleblower? He's no longer a whistleblower. I almost said a well-known whistleblower. He's given up particular. I don't know, but anyway, his contribution was made during the Street Vibes program yesterday and aired on DBS television. 979 WhatsApp calls and messages 71620. We will see if we have a call on the landline. In the meantime, let me go through a WhatsApp message. And somebody says via WhatsApp, the difference between SLP and UWP last night while our guys were putting up flags simply showed support how us UWP supporters do it in the Valley. All right, we have a call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Well, I'm very much happy with the press release that was out enough area,
Mhm.
which is something, Tim, we're trying our best not to get involved in these things. But I just need to send that little message to Sean Edwards. You see, the thing is, Tim, if you cannot control the people that you're leading, it basically shows that you're not a leader. You understand? And if I heard that Sean Edwards wants to succeed Philip J. Pierre as the next leader or the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia, and the population of Denrinoff is probably just about 15 to 16,000 people. If you control 15 to 16 people, it makes no sense to try and be the leader of the country. You understand? So we're sending that message to Sean. Can he please talk to his people? Because we're really up to those things. Not determine who's getting the election. Same time, there are some people that are very sensitive more than each other. Maybe I might take it light. Maybe I might see it to me it's petty. Sometimes I can be the one investing the money, buying the flag. Maybe see my money into this kind of a thing, burn my flags and them kind of thing. But we're trying not to get involved. Tell Sean, please, we're sending that message to him. Talk to his people, ask his people to desist from those practices. We are not involved in that. We want a peaceful election. And he has been defeated. So please just accept defeat in peace and we'll leave it like that. But my other thing is, Tim, I want to tell Richard Frederick, I have $1 million. He offered me $1 million, but I am offering him $2 million. If Philip like that, if Philip J. Pierre like that, I am giving Richard Frederick $2 million.
So thank you so much. 45229 WhatsApp calls and messages 712026. Let me see if I have any more of your messages. To Amanda, I don't think I've done my you.
You have not.
No. Long. Good afternoon to you, ma'am. My apologies.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Chat room.
Tim and NewsSpin says their election day should be a fixed date and a holiday, but even with a holiday, some people won't vote and will be the loudest to complain. A commentary reads, PJP has yet to outline a plan, so Alan, the next Prime Minister, did the right thing to highlight his plan for the country to give us some level of comfort and something to look forward to. A NewsSpinner says the Prime Minister cannot even manage his cabinet, but he wants to manage the whole of St. Lucia. I cannot understand. Another reads, when crime went up from 29 murders to 60 from 2016 to 2017, you never asked Shasney to address the nation. When Human Guild had a symposium, what did Shasney do? He went to support Golding. Man moved there. A commentator says, true, Tim, we had leadership during COVID, we had direction and was hopeful. Right now we do not know what to do or where to go. Hopefully we will go to the polls very soon. A commentary reads, Shasney delivered this address as a true leader, poised, tone to point. You nailed this message. St. Lucians right the wrong, bring good leadership back to govern our beloved nation. And NewsSpinner says, sigh, I miss the days when our country had this sort of poised, brilliant and strategic leadership. A commentary reads, when St. Lucians is in crisis, you have every confidence that Uncle Shasney can handle it, like COVID or anything else. P, on the other hand, does not inspire and confidence that he is able to handle any crisis our country faces. Another commentary reads, tell me that there isn't a stark difference between the two parties in crimes. Someone says, RF, use your show to tell the people how the SLP is going to keep our country safe. Not Shasney do this, Shasney says that. We are tired of hearing the same old song. And our families are dying like flies. We need solutions, Richard. Commentary reads, very emotional at our state of affairs, so we have to blame ourselves, St. Lucians, and take responsibility for the bad judgment some made. We need to right this wrong or face worst consequences. Everyone is responsible for the power of their vote. A commentary says, I am looking forward to Rick's take on this address. Shasney answered the call to lay his plans. A NewsSpinner says their PJP circle is compromised, hence why the reluctance to address the crime issue. A commentary says, this is how a Prime Minister should speak in an address. Address the problems, give solutions, seek advice, and communicate with people. Learn that, PJP. Commentary says, this is the kind of behavior that tells you that your opponent is losing the battle. They get angry, they get violent, and they start to destroy everything in their way until they totally lose it and destroy themselves. Commentary says these are the behaviors that cause the ordinary man to be arrested and face the consequences alone. The minister will always have the freedom of movement, hence he should be the one to challenge the opposition without cause. Commentary says when the fools are busy fighting with each other over politics, the reps busy eating, drinking and laughing with each other, when will they learn? And the commentary says, Tim, when is the funeral for our murdered officer Tyson? Today to the Prime Minister knows nada. What a shame. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. WhatsApp message. Somebody says there we have a little situation whereby a young lady just came back from the hospital in Martinique and was heading home to Dennery, and her suitcase fell off in the Badlil area. Somebody picked it up. Can you announce to the public that whoever has it can return it to the Richford police station, or they can call 286-2381. So either you deposit the items at the Richford police station, or you can call 286-2381. 286-2381. Be a good Samaritan. Let's see if you have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says, Tim, the caller who said he's giving Richard $2 million, I'm adding another $2 million if the Prime Minister can give a speech like Shastny. And some more of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says, not somebody, but Arthur Charles says, Tim, in your mouth, I'm still the famous whistleblower till care I don't blow the whistle on you. Okay. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Somebody says there, Richard Frederick is boss for misleading people with wrong information. And another WhatsApp message, and it reads, Tim, good day to you and Amanda. You need to repeat your last comment to the people. Those who are already going to benefit are not the ones destroying the flags. And another WhatsApp message. And we have some photographs to go with this WhatsApp message. Mr. Producer, it says there, imagine the Great Wall which was under construction at Pavi. Having reached 25 rows of blocks without any beams and erected straight to the fancy in many men is now being torn down and rebuilt with the taxpayers' money by the same crew of 3 contractors. Imagine the height and length of the wall with 8-inch pillars and no beams. When bringing it down, we realized that the top concrete consisted of pieces of steel just laying in the concrete, not tied to the wall. Question: will those contractors be paid for the supposed building, the demolition, and reconstruction of the wall? That was a WhatsApp message, and it came with some photographs. And let's see if we have some more of your messages to go through. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, someone has to write the speech for the Prime Minister. He can't do it on his own. Well, that normally happens. I mean, the President of the United States, he does not write his own speech. Likewise, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the leader of the opposition, those people, very often they have speech writers. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, has anyone done a poll to see which party will win the next election? So far, would like to know. Well, I'm not aware of any poll being conducted. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, during the last national elections in St. Lucia, I cast my vote for the SLP. However, due to what I perceived as poor performance, a lack of transparency and insufficient action on crime and other critical matters, I decided that I would abstain from voting in future elections. Recently, after listening to opposition leader Alan Shastny's address to the nation, I've had a change of heart. I am now strongly considering voting for the UWP, that the leadership will act decisively on their promises. I urge that if the UWP is elected, they follow a principle similar to that of former President Donald Trump to implement promised policies immediately rather than delaying action. Prompt and transparent execution of campaign commitments is essential to restoring public trust. Let's see there if we have another WhatsApp message. In the meantime, see if we have a call on the landline. Somebody says there, like in London, those CCTVs work and the public has access to those footage. In St. Lucia, nada, shaking my head. And let's see if we have some more messages to go through. Bear with me. I'm trying to see if I could get a message. Okay, we have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Timothy. How are you?
Yes,
How is Amanda doing?
I'm okay, ma'am.
Good afternoon, calling. Fine, thank you.
Okay. Timothy, I have a problem. I'm trying to turn this thing off. Okay. There we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
I have a problem. I have a problem with Richard Frederick. It's sad. It really is sad when our Prime Minister insists that Richard Frederick, there's no problem with Richard Frederick. You know? I mean, how can you say that Richard Frederick is the same Richard Frederick that the United Workers Party had within its ranks? And as a result, it's okay. It's as if the Prime Minister has forgotten that they, the St. Lucia Labour Party, were the ones who informed us, the St. Lucian electorate, who Richard Frederick is. Call him the worst thing to have ever happened to St. Lucian politics. Is that not so? If it is that Richard Frederick is the worst thing then to have happened to St. politics, and he is the same Richard Frederick today, why is it that Richard Frederick has a seat in our cabinet? Why is it that Richard Frederick holds a portfolio within the office of the Prime Minister? When Richard Frederick proves himself time and time again to be one of the most heartless, soulless, vilest creatures or figures in our political landscape. I mean, he's already attacked Marcella. You know, asking Marcella he's open, to have extramarital affairs with. He's now attacking Lisa Joseph. And even speaking without empathy about the late Troya St. Martin. It is one thing to attack a woman. You call her a home wrecker. You mock her for having married twice. As if, he's ignoring the fact that Marcella's first husband died. Have some compassion, man. Have a heart. Have a heart. This is not just malicious. It is morally bankrupt. And he thinks by bringing Sir John into the fray. By the way, I noticed he didn't say that Sir John had once referred to him as Barabbas. But to bring Sir John into the fray, because Menisa called Sir John a toothless tiger, and Sir John famously retorted, "Come and see what a toothless tiger can do." That gives him license to sexually denigrate women. When Menisa called Sir John a toothless tiger and Sir John responded, it was political theater. I was in my 20s and I did not input any sexualization to what Sir John and Menisa were talking about. Okay? I did not look at it. I did not see it. I did not understand it to be any personal sexual attack on Menisa. But Richard Frederick has taken his, I don't want to call it political license, because that's not political license. It's just vile behavior. He's taken it to another level. I mean, when it comes to Lisa Joseph, Richard sinks even lower. Is it true? Is it true that Richard suggested that Lisa has cancer and that it is Alan Chasney who is paying for her treatment and claiming or alluding that it is because of this that Lisa now is a political hack, and whatever she's doing, opening the eyes and the minds of St. Lucians, that it is payback for Alan's supposed generosity. I mean, to undermine the credibility of what I would say is perhaps the lone independent journalist in St. Lucia right now, suggesting that because she is separated from GIS, that she's nothing more than a paid political act without integrity, is not just cruel and invasive, but it is a direct attack on Lisa's professional reputation. As a minister of government, you know what that reminds me of? When Kenny Anthony referred here as media terrorists. Remember that time, Timothy?
How can I forget?
All right. I mean, it's not as if
Are you there?
He's also suggesting that Troya St. Martin had committed. Remember Troya St. Martin?
Yes.
The mother, the young lady who presenting evidence, and that's the critical thing that St. Lucians have to understand. No evidence that Troya Martin had committed murder before, as though Patrick's death was some kind of karmic punishment for what he's suggesting. And remember, no evidence. Where is the empathy from this government minister for Troya's unborn baby? Where is the humanity? If Richard Frederick truly has evidence of any such crime, why did he not report it to the police? And furthermore, why have the police not called him in for questioning? It is clear that anytime a strong woman stands up to Richard Frederick or challenges the status quo, he responds with sexualized insults, personal defamation, and public humiliation. Now, I want to know which woman has hurt Richard so badly that he feels compelled to tear down every strong woman he encounters. What deep unresolved issues has made him so venomous towards us? And the St. Lucia Labour Party and the women that it endorses are equally culpable, because this is complicity. By not condemning this behavior, they are tacitly endorsing his immorality. And here's the worst part. Prime Minister Philip J.P. has admitted that he knows Richard Frederick is the same vile character that he has always been. Yet, he gave Richard a seat at his cabinet table and even appointed him as a junior minister in his office. I'm sending this notice to all St. Lucians. You do not have to be red to be a St. Lucian. I repeat, you don't have to be red to be a St. Lucian and to be respected in this country. Today, it's Marcella and Lisa. Tomorrow, it could be you. It could be me. It could be your mother. It could be your sister. It could be your wife. Democracy demands respect, St. Lucia. Remember that always. Democracy demands respect. We as women deserve a table. We have gone through enough just because we are women, without having to endure the degradation of men like Richard Frederick. Richard, you must go, you have to go, and you will go. And I'm calling all St. Lucian women and men who value respect and democracy to rise up against this vile behavior and this democracy in this regime, this government of St. Lucia. Timothy, thank you for taking my call and for hearing me out.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Yes.
You just heard there from Laura Jean-Pierre. She is the United Workers' Party candidate for Labrie. And let's play you a part of that comment that was made by Richard Frederick on his program last evening, the program Can I Help You, and where he focused on the DBS television reporter, journalist, and producer, Lisa Joseph.
Lisa Joseph is not a journalist, she's a journalist. You know, you cannot be a journalist. No investigative skill, no tact, no journalistic research, no journalistic prowess or expertise. Lisa Joseph, in my view, is a refined version of Jugwa. Pa bola we debiod do. Lisa Joseph is not a journalist, she's a journalist. You know, you cannot be a journalist. No investigative skill, no tact, no journalistic research, no journalistic prowess or expertise. Lisa Joseph, in my view, is a refined version of Jugwa. Pa bola we debiod do.
No right-thinking solution will give credence to what the government minister has said and how he has described Lisa Joseph as not being a journalist but being a journalist. And I'm sure that you have monitored Lisa Joseph ever since she came on the scene, maybe a little close to or a little over 2 decades ago, and monitored and you have observed her progress, her intelligence, and her professionalism. And I know that you, the people of this country, whether you're a supporter of the SLP or the UWP, you can attest to that fact that you have benefited from the work of Lisa Joseph, either when she was at Radio St. Lucia, DBS Television, NTN, and other media outlets. There are some things that people say that just nonsensical, not worth repeating, and certainly not giving any kind of attention to. You may not like an individual. You may put them as a this party or that. But that gives you absolutely no right to engage in the belittling of that person when you ought to know better. To the people of St. Louis, to draw their regard, what the minister just said there, what on his program on NBC television. I think you are a lot discerning than that. So, in my estimation, and the estimation of the majority of people, 1 or 2 hacks of the Senusha who will not conclude, will not accept that Lisa Joseph is a journalist, more she is a professional. And when people are you, because they see you as a threat, why would a government minister attack a journalist to that extent? There aren't any other journalists and reporters in Lucia who ought to be attacked, who ought to be scrutinized. Maybe not. That should tell you, the people of this country. This month, La Clinique du Corps is offering a $50 discount on consultation. Visit us today and take advantage of this promotion. Don't month, August, La Clinique du Corps is offering a $50 discount doctor consultations. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. Should election be a holiday so that you could have a higher voter turnout? We'll hear somebody who is in a relation in just a moment.
We've just finished dinner, and before we all head off, let's do very over purpose. We need food, water, medicine, important documents. What else? Right. The generator. This year, I'm not taking any chances. I'm getting hours from hardware in Mosley. I sound, and believe me, I don't want to hear, Daddy, the Wi-Fi's down when the power's out. Keep your family color. Get your generator at Europa Hardware. Call us today at 452-0763. Hardware located in Massad Grosley. We service what we sell.
Wishes customers and the public that its customer service office Susi remains closed to facilitate urgent maintenance. The Lusulek, Rodney and Viafor offices are all serve customers. The kiosk in the Blue Coral Mall is available for all services except payments. Customers who wish to make payment disclosure to access my account at myaccount.lusulek.com. SurePay's online walk-in service options or participating financial institutions. Payments may Sure My Account direct on weekdays from 8 p.m. Process accounts the same day. Payments made after 4 p.m. will be processed the next business day. For account, please dial the automated account inquiry service line at 4433. Customers can access other Lusulek services by using the virtual service desk at DOM. The management deeply regrets any inconvenience caused by this closure and thanks its valued customers for their patience and understanding.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pocket. At First National Bank, we are saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature future self with you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000. You turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here.
It's in the feeling, it's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping, going strong. Before we will go home, our head in the sky, celebrate that rhythm flow.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of a seat. An extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's visible. I feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain, spine, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in Sintra offering the most advanced MRI technology, fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 41655 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
In the blink of an eye. Are you ready? When the winds rage and the rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you. MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit MNC Home Sunbelt today. For you're safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Yes. Now, so for 2020. Yes. Welcome back to Real Men Take Charge. Check up.
To all my listeners out there, visit a men's health clinic in your area today.
PSA checkups are
It's private, it's quick, it's efficient. patient, and
Music touches the soul, but health keeps going. Fellas, take your peace. Simple save your life.
Do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit? Let us be wise stewards of our lives. Prostate test saves lives. Let us not wait until it is too late.
To be a champion, you need to show up for yourself. I'm encouraging every man to check. Stay strong. Do it for the team. Do it for your family.
My daddy is a hero. I've been around for a very long time. Daddy, if you care about me, please take care of your health.
I faced colon and prostate cancer head on, and I'm still standing. Only to say, if I can do it, so can you. Don't wait. Get tested. It's free. It's simple. And save your life also.
Real
men. Real men take charge.
Real men check up.
The Republic Bank CPL is here, and the biggest party in sport is bigger. This August, all roads lead to Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. Light up the island with 5 explosive games, 23rd to 31st. Every roar from the crowd is a shot of pure Caribbean adrenaline. So grab your tickets now at 20.com or box office 9 Sports Party in Sport.
Join the Young Labour Stars for a National Youth Vibe on Sunday, 17th August at Palm Valley in Dennery. Pull up for music, energy, and real talk. Bringing the Honorable Jeremiah JN, Honorable Kenton Casimir, Prime Minister and political leader, Boss Honorable Pierre. Blazing the Labour Party point. Our endorsed candidates, Senator Lisa Jawahir
for more progress
and Dr. Shanda Harak. You definitely want to miss our firebrand feature speaker, Newport South endorsed candidate, Mr. Danny Butcher. Vibes from DJ Pro Styles, General Biggs, Subbats, and our 2025 Pre-Monarch, Imran Nerdy.
Yeah, I go in everywhere.
It's a whole youth vibe with Labour. Palm Valley, Dennery, August 17th at 3:30 p.m. Be there.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. In the chat room, somebody says, it is right. St. Lucians have given him the power. Unless he is voted out, he will continue. I listened a little last night, and I was disappointed in St. Lucians. Keep working on, Richard. This one extracted from the chat room. And let's see if we have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, Tim, I think it should be on a weekend, so not to clash with work, so the employer gets what he or she pays for, and that people don't work on weekends. So, just before we talk, I told you that somebody is suggesting that the general elections should be called on the holiday, so that the voters be encumbered by so many, like, having to go to work, etc. They can just take the day and go and cast their ballot. Let's listen to this individual who has made this suggestion. His name is Rajay Danvers. Let's listen.
I'm just wondering, right, how do we want people to participate? There are barriers to participation. And so my idea of a future for a country that wants people to participate, let's make it a holiday. Let's make it a voting holiday. Let us say that we are no excuse for you to participate. We believe that you are so important to the process, want you to be a part of it. So on this day, we voting. And I'm just wondering, right, how do we want people to participate? Barriers to that participation. And so my country that wants people to participate, let's make it a holiday. Make it a voting. Let us say that we are no excuse for you to participate. We believe that you are so important to the process that we want you to be a part of it. So on voting.
Rajay Danvers, and he's a Jamaican national, by the way, not a St. Lucian, and he appeared on the TVJ Smile Jamaica program, I think it was yesterday, and he made a suggestion. And this is coming against the background of Jamaicans having to go to the polls on September the 3rd. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
I'm so glad I finally got through.
Yes, sir.
Because I really hate not having spoken to.
And then you have this all bottled in, and you have to wait until Monday. So
yeah,
get it off your chest, sir.
I want to suggest that there can be no greater feeling of accomplishment than to be living at my age and to be hearing people talking about my work and its impact on them, and I'm able to, you know what a blessing that is?
It is.
To be able to hear it, so you don't close your eyes what your life was about. Those people, I'm in a kind of strange mood for Rick Wayne, okay? So allow me that today. And I want to thank all those people for being courageous enough in these times, especially, to call from all over and say nice things about my work. Now, the matter of me being handsome and all the other wonderful things, everybody knows that already, so we needn't go into that. But when they talk about my work, it means a hell of a lot to me, not just for the ego, but that I can spend a life with that. In 2016, especially it being the start. In 2006, when we fight only on the side of might, fight only on the side of might, not right, and permit wrong to overwhelm us. When we manufacture excuse not to confront rampant evil, our own Christian, when we manufacture excuses, rampant evil that is our creation, not the land against the unimagined consequences, his answer usually. I took time reading those words. Are we seeing the truth of what are we living now? We are living the catastrophic times that we create ourselves when we fight only on the side of might. Talking about that's overwhelming us, Tim. We're being talked, written about, etc. years ago. And now, no matter what party you stand for, it doesn't matter. It's biting you in the butt, most sensitive. St. Lucia under siege, whether St. Lucia wants to admit it or not. This island, despite all the horrors rained on it by people who don't give a damn about the environment, who throw shit all over the place, and I mean literally shit plus for crap, who talk about, I built that. You built nothing. You take the people's taxpayers' money, do with it what you think is sexy and will get you votes. You don't take your money there, no for. You didn't build any goddamn hotel. You didn't build any road. You know, there are a lot of people right now you don't even know exist because they're sick and old and infirmed. They cannot cry. They can't even cry to him. So when we make excuses for politicians, politicians, there are people who find themselves in position. And when we are stupid enough to ignore, put people into office based on our stupidity or on our vanity, which is somebody gave me a few bucks, then what the hell do you expect? When you are a dog in an office that only the best people should inhabit, you expect dog shit. That's what, and that's what of Lisa is a reporter. And I know there's not one person that's giving some journalist time that it was initiative of journalism. And you don't have to agree with a journalist's point of view. Journalists are not, what's the word I'm looking for? Infallible. People have some more than others, just like regular people. And you are free to judge them reasonably. Whether they have cancer or not, you don't judge a woman who has said something on whether you've effed her, almost said the word, because it's now an ordinary word, you know, whether you've raped her, taken advantage of her, whether she was easy or not. You judge her on what she said. And the normal thing is that gentlemen, men of manners and quality, while men may cuss men in rum shop style, gentlemen don't cuss people in rum shop in polite company. It's when they rum shop at the beach, men call each other and kind of care. But even on the beach, gentlemen, people of training, are careful how they put down a woman. And putting down a woman in terms of what she does with her sex, whether she had 10 abortions, whether all those things demean all of us, especially those who think it's okay. It's not. It doesn't mean I, Rick Wayne, have not stepped out of line either. That is irrelevant. At least grown up enough to say, if I did, then it's terrible. I take it back. I don't know. But in case that's the usual, but Rick Wayne, you say so and so. If I have, then I've been realized something stupid, wrong, ungentlemanly, and at it now. So whoever is doing it, especially with politicians, they're doing it in our name. All of us. Lisa, Joseph, and Dale Elliott are two of the more accomplished. They stand on their own. But not like what Dale says. There are things I don't like, Dale says, and I would disagree with him. But I want to say again why I want to give the giving thanks. Fantastic show that he's got, Untold Stories. A lot of them on stories in the Star. He has updated them or he has revamped them, and he'll be the first to tell. He's doing a fantastic job of that. And when he goes at any press conference and he asks questions, he's also doing a great job of that. Lisa Joseph, sometimes how she, Tim, you would better appreciate that than I do. How she puts together her shows in 2 or 3 days. Is it days or hours? I asked how long, and the number came up. I think it's probably hours, you know. When she's gotten all the stuff together, she puts it all. I think so.
Yeah.
Tim, I can't begin to believe how she does that. And I am damn talented at what I do. In fact, I'm gifted at what I do. let me be the first to say it. I don't tell me that countries where people don't read and know not. And it does not deserve, under any circumstances, because she put a question to the Prime Minister, not the Prime Minister himself, but somebody else will go on there and discuss the woman's health and discuss You know, just because you have a degree, it says nothing. It is how many cases, a book. I used to say that to George Adlam, just to brag at me that he was among the first Oxford grads. And I used to say to George, but you didn't talk about that. Show me your work. And you don't talk about what schools you went. I have never darkened the doors of institution of hard learning, to use the local. But you have seen me take on all of them. Top ones of them that you've seen me on there. I've taken it. So the fact that you may not like the girl's journalism because of what she's writing does not warrant, it doesn't say much for you, and it doesn't say much for the people you represent to demean her like that. It's the idea of those comments on what's the name? No, the lady from candidate from Grocery.
Marcella Johnson.
I mean, come on. I mean, and that is encouraged by a lot of people, Tim. You can criticize a lot. If I want to criticize anybody, I don't need to go into the pants. Neither underwear.
Okay. What does that say about your good friend? The political leader of the SLP
I want to go to
Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
I almost forgot I had to go to as well. Tim, let me put it to you. I'll challenge anybody. And that is not a defense, you know.
So you're about to come up with a defense. Let me hear your defense.
No, it's not. It's not. I job. I'll give you and put other people. Let them find one place where Philip J. Pierre attacked in anything near the way. I'll put it to you, you won't even find Philip attacking people. But what Philip Pierre is in danger of doing, his good image on that, is the condoning worst kind of others in his camp. And he has to look at that because he has a legacy. We all have a legacy. Actually, I challenge you to find Philip Pierre calling games or not. Well, I challenge, and I've actually looked for it, Tim. Look for it, find one so far. But he's condoning.
Apart from saying tall and short and stuff, no, that's not attacking. You didn't read nothing. You didn't read anything into that.
Yeah, but don't forget I got attacked for that.
And he also said, I saw some old ladies in town supporting. They could barely walk. You remember that one?
Yeah, but put it again.
No. We're not comparing. Sin is sin, Rick. Sin is.
Well, Tim, let me not defend that. But I was looking for where he was something similar to what has become commonplace right now. Okay, so kudos to you. When that, I'm sure somebody will tell you here right now. But you know, I am not so pristine, Tim, that I don't expect a politician to say something about other people. Like the matter of Manisha and yeah. Man, there's a whole thing to that, you know. It isn't just a matter of the and what comes and says, tell her to try me.
Yeah.
That was the exact line. But what led to that? Even that was not upsetting. It was like, it's borderline. I've heard Compton talk about bald head women. And he got blows for it. And by the way, let us also understand that when he made the statement about Manisha, the staff, and I think Lauren Williams also made a statement on it, criticized him for it. That's a big difference as well. These guys, when they slipped up, even what I call today comparably almost nothing, they got criticized by the media. So whatever statements Compton may have made that were not kosher, he was criticized, including saying, I made Maroc a woman. What do you wanted to say? I made her a politician. There was a discussion. And then I made Maroc a woman. And you know Compton's reputation. that was taken to mean something else. He was also criticized for that. When George Odlum said hanging in the square, he was criticized for that. The difference is we are deep in the toilet with impunity. Yeah. That is the big point I wanted to make. Not so much that some politicians are saints. No. It is that we accept and embrace and don't defend what needs to be defended. We stand only by the mighty. Might is right all the time, etc. Even when they commit rape, even when their reputation sucks. Can you understand? We do that, you know.
But let me tell you, Rick. I did not watch Richard's program last evening. So what I got was a clip, an insert somebody sent to me. But somebody's also saying there, he also said that the reporting done by DBS is one-sided, and the staff and management should be ashamed of what they put out. Now, somebody will say that I'm biased just because I'm working with DBS, I'm the main anchor there, and so on. But I'm telling you something. I am not involved in the production of DBS News. I do not write DBS News. I'm not the news director or news editor. All right?
As well I know.
But I could vouch for the reporting, the quality of the reporting of DBS News, and do the monitoring. Look at what is being put out by HTS. Look at what is being put out by MBC. Look at what is being put out by Choice Television and compare it with DBS News, the content and the balance that you get in that broadcast. And I honestly can vouch for that. So watch this evening. Watch this evening and make the comparison with what is reported on HTS and what is on MBC. I'm stressing deliberately on MBC.
What is put on
MBC? What is on MBC? Hold on, Rick. Let me make my point. And what is also on Choice Television. I can vouch for that.
I want to make one final statement in relation to what you say there. See, I make no apologies that when the facts change, I change my mind, you know. I am well known. Politicians tell you, boy, don't trust Rick Wayne. That is about the only truth that they can stand on. That is very true. I don't want any politician trusting me because I don't trust them. I didn't put them in office to trust them. I put them in office to watch them every second. How dare you say you trust me or don't trust me? Don't trust me. Because if I say a thing on Monday a certain way, and by Tuesday I see it another way, I will say it both ways. That's why I've been friends with every prime minister, very close. And I've also had my ding-dongs with them. I owe politicians no loyalty. None. So don't say Rick Wynn will say this and say that. And I watch with all my years. I watch the guys who are talking the worst criticisms of people publicly. And man, their own slates are on record. Tim. This must stop. We can do better.
But hold on, Rick, hold on. I want to address a particular issue, that matter with Lisa Joseph. Yeah. Because Lisa and I, we go way back, right? As a matter of fact,
how long would you say? Lisa
a little over 20 years.
That long.
As a matter of fact, you blew your trumpet, let me blow mine as well. I was the one who hired Lisa at DBS Television over 2 decades ago. All right, I was the news director then, and we needed a reporter. Lisa was not in the media at all, so I took a chance on her, and I'm very proud how she has turned out.
Well,
people.
Tim,
go ahead.
I was asking you a while ago what it takes to put together a show like what's a show?
Special report. She has a special report. Yeah, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. A lot of research.
And I heard her being accused last night of not researching.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true at all.
I mean, I did not enjoy the end. Her guest. I didn't enjoy him. I mean, the television interviews and so on are supposed to be enjoyed, even as they inform as well. I did not enjoy Martinez on her show at all. Martinez is not the best person to have on a show. And I thought she handled him very well, including his after every word. And even when yesterday somebody thought it was wrong, that it was suspicious at one point where Martinez said something a certain way, and then he asked me, Alicia to say it another way. Remember that?
Yes.
I thought that was great TV.
Great television. Great, very
I thought
riveting.
that was great TV.
Riveting.
But there are people who saw it. Again, it's Macambo planters talking about Nobel Prize winners and literary things. That's what we do here. Everybody here is a literary giant and a literary critic. Is a television critic. People who can't read. People who don't understand what they read because their education is so poor. Poor. They are criticizing Derek Walcott. They're criticizing, the name gives that. They're criticizing Derek Walcott. They're criticizing articles. That is what we're living in, and there is no sign that's about to change.
But the final point I want to make, Rick, is that there's some things that are just not to be tolerated. They are not permissible in any society.
In any decent society.
And that would include speaking about somebody's health. We don't call that upon ourselves, okay? And there should be widespread condemnation across the board. You're a government minister. You ought to know better. You are a talk show host. You are a lawyer. And you're speaking about somebody's health on your talk in that kind of demeaning manner.
A woman...
To the extent, Rick, hold on, Rick, to the extent you're claiming that her medical bills were paid by the leader of the opposition. And as far as I am aware, Rick, that is not true.
I have also talked with Lisa as
and
well.
Also
but
Rick, hold on. Those things are very painful. They have an impact on you. They have an impact on your family, your mother. Can you imagine? I mean, a lot of things are being said about me. And very often when my mom was alive, she would take it personal. She would pine over this. And I just cannot imagine how Lisa's family, how they're feeling with regard to this.
Let me say this. Richard Frederick has feelings like everybody else. I can understand Richard Frederick being offended, being embarrassed, and having to put on a strong face, etc., etc. But why is he so selective? The first people, when I came to this country, I knew Richard as a kind of bon vivant, as I knew him, not to talk to, but I saw him just a bon vivant. The first nasty things I started hearing about Richard Frederick came from Kenny Anthony and the Labour Party. All of the things we now that have expanded were all Labour Party exposés. I have never written an expose of Richard Frederick. I've written extensively about him. But the story emanated from the Labour Party. It emanated from Kenny's books, from Kenny's statements, and from the platform. Who do you think put the State Department on Richard Frederick's track? The Labour Party, the United Workers' Party. I hate to talk parties. The United Workers' Party were at that time seeking to protect their man. So all the horrors about Richard Frederick were not from the United Workers' Party, ironically. They were all from the Labour Party. The problems began seriously with a personal thing with Alan Shastney, which cannot exclude Stephenson King. Stephenson King furnished Janine Compton with a letter to go to the embassy to dig up dirt on Richard Frederick. Richard Frederick knows that. It's on the record. It was Janine Compton who first announced that Richard Frederick, the visa had been revoked. So I can understand people, even Richard Frederick has feelings. I can understand he will lose his cool. I can understand all of that. But why is he able to so manage the fact that whatever notoriety he has came from the Labour Party at a time when the United Workers' Party was seeking to protect him?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. All right, we had that exchange lasted for about 24 minutes. Hope you enjoyed it. Finally, our NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day. What say you to last night's address to the nation by the leader of the parliamentary opposition? What say you to last night's address on crime by the leader of the parliamentary opposition? And the NewsSpin news of the day. It reads, sexual violence in conflicts worldwide increased by 25% last year, according to the United Nations. Sexual violence in conflicts worldwide increased by 25% last year, according to the UN. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Have a great and safe weekend and join us, God willing, on Monday afternoon, 12:30. Goodbye.